too. That's like we stress, living here over our bills and our finances. God giving us the jobs. You tell me what's stressing. It got you thinking some negative things, like your world is caving in.
I wouldn't compromise you even so soon. The world spins accordion according to the news. Do every time I demonstrate my love, I lose. There's no tutorials on how to play the fool. Well, stop me if I might be sounding a little too emotional. If you got all the answers, I'm listening. If you love me, then help me pick all of the pieces up. Yeah. If you love me, then help me.
Listen, wait, bro. Hold on, stop. Just stop, bro. Oh, shit. Come on, bro.
Hello.
Hello, everybody out there. We need you guys to tap in, like, follow, share, and get in tune. Get in tune. What's going on, King Jacob?
What's up, man? You know, Big Frank. Oh, man. He said, if you feel like
he's trying to compromise.
Man, he said, if you feel like you love me, save me.
He said, help him pick the pieces up.
Yeah.
And there's a movie, and he's in film, and the list can go on. And he is exquisite. He's definitely exquisite. Been with Exquisite for about 3 years.
Right.
Been able to tap in and touch a few people that he's wanted to touch. I can definitely say that he is one of the many people that have been with us that has appreciated us, and he's appreciated us by letting us know that he's appreciating us, and he's put his hands out there, and appreciation goes a long way with me, a long way with me, and I gotta say thank him for that. He's a good guy. He's one of the good ones. If I do say so myself, yeah, he's one of the good ones.
Yeah, and this music is rare, far, and in between.
Say that one more time.
Yes. I said in this music industry, it's few, far, rare, and in between. When you're talking about good guys, good heart, good intentions. People of purpose, power, and passion. So we have a topic tonight. Boy, that topic.
And the topic is
know thyself.
Know thyself. Whew. Know thyself. That's serious. That's serious.
So the first order of business, the first question is, how many people really know thyself? Like really, really, really know thyself. Really.
I can't hear you. Know thyself. That's what we're talking about today. If anybody out there knows of another platform that can handle um, a lot of pressure, or maybe they say that it's the internet server that we're using that's making this, the phones go out, um, that's making things lag. So if there's another platform that anyone has chosen to use, um, tap in with me and let me know. Hit me up, DM me, and I'm definitely willing to try something outside of StreamYard. I know that if it's the internet, then there's really nothing that I can do, and we have to probably just unplug some things from the server, um, lighten up the weight. But if it's something else, maybe the phones, I never use a phone. I'm always on a laptop, as I have 3 or 4 laptops, 1, 2, 3, 4 laptops around me that I'm working on all the time at one time. Um, I shut a couple of them off, and just to release some pressure on the internet, just so that I won't have a lag and or echo and or when we're on here. And so the topic today was know thyself. This is something that's a huge deal in regards to growth, in regards to maturity, in regards to so many things in life, and definitely prosperity. I heard something that was said that gave me a ringer, made my light bulb go off. There was a guy speaking, and they were talking about people making 100,000 a week, and the people on the internet that's doing all these big things, SMMAs and real estate, crypto, binary trading, um, all these things that can make anybody a lot of money. Um, Affiliated marketing, the things that, where people say you have no money today and then you can have some money tomorrow, or utilizing artificial intelligence. What he said was to look at everything in a different mannerism. Those certain entities are it's like a car. And with those entities being a car, the person driving the car um, is what makes the vessel move, or makes the vessel do things. And a lot of times we find ourselves saying things like, I really can't do that, or I don't like that, or that's not making me any money. And so what we're talking about is know thyself, like you said, Jacob, when you tapped out of here. I wanted to continue that conversation because I was listening to someone, and what he was saying was, and this ties into knowing thyself, as well as me being here with this on this week again. One day we're gonna go ahead, you guys, and we're gonna cover why I do this, why I come on screen and I'm comfortable in my skin, because I know myself. I'm comfortable in my skin, and there's other things that make me keep my head tied down, and so on and so forth, until, if I have to take it off, then I will. But right now, while we're just vibing with you guys, getting you guys back in tune with us, depending on where I'm at in the day and how I feel, just to have my hair tied down is very comfortable for me, because I know myself. I'm not uncomfortable with being here like this, and you guys can and will see me in different forms throughout this year. But back to the vessel. The car is the vessel, and the person, me, you, anyone else. Driving the car is the person that's making the money, the $10,000, the $100,000 in a month, $20,000 in a month. But what's very interesting is that for people who give up easy, get frustrated really fast, um, don't make any money at all, it's not the car. It's the vessel. It's the person driving the vessel. And the reason why the car usually doesn't run right, if you get in your car and you push on the gas and you pump the gas and you start it up, you flooded the gas tank, the car might not start right away. You might have to just give it a minute and wait. Similar to life, when us as people don't know ourselves, you're not going to be able to navigate any type of system in life to be able to make an immense amount of money that has life attached to it. By far, you're not going to be able to do it because, for one, you have to change some things about yourself, your character. You got to look at the character of the person. Is the character like, what's your personality? And then, do you know what you can do? Do you know what you do? Do you know what you love? Do you know what you like? Do you know what your enough is? There are some things about people who make a lot of money really fast and stay there and ride that wave. And then there's a difference between a person that's complaining about making the money, like the person who's making the money. There's a difference and there's a stream in between there. And that stream is basically responsibility and accountability, to be responsible enough to say, hey, I don't know how to do this. Hey, I've never heard of this before. What is this? Because a lot of times people don't know how to do something and they won't say anything about it. And I feel like that has a lot to do with your character, which then has something to do with you knowing yourself. What do you think?
I think that it does. I feel like the only answer that's a dumb answer is an answer that you don't get because you don't ask.
Okay.
So therefore, and then we got to think: is this person an introvert or extrovert? Then,
Okay.
then you got to look in the mirror and say, which are you? And you
Okay.
got to look in the mirror and say, why are you this person? What made you this person? And how can you evolve not to be so standoffish, or how can you evolve to be more approachable, or to be more of a people's person, or
So
you
you
know what?
basically feel like you have to be a people person to make an immense amount of money?
Um, I would say you have to have some people skills. Um, because in business, the more people are drawn to you, the more money you make. You know what I mean? A lot of times it ain't just about the business. It's about the whole package. The business, the person, how they connect well with their community, how they connect well with other business owners, and how they connect well with the youth. You know,
Absolutely. I'm in total agreement with you on that.
a lot,
Because
a
when
lot.
people make money with that affiliated marketing, with SMMAs, with any quick, well, and we're going to say quick, and we can't say that it doesn't work because there's hundreds of thousands and thousands and 10,000, thousands of people making this residual, right? So we can't say that that doesn't work. We can't say that it doesn't work. We can't. Because there are people who are literally rich and have retired at the early ages of 25 years old using these certain vessels and using these certain markers to bring in residual. And so if you don't know what you like, if you don't know what your enough is, and if you don't know what your character traits are,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these things will put you at a halt.
Right.
You may not be good at being a speaker, or you may not be good at speaking at live events, but you may be good at carrying out the message for the person who is speaking to get them to the speaker events. Or you might be the person who can navigate and put the event together for the speakers to come to the event. Service is one thing that sells. Service sells. To take someone's pain away, if I could take the pain away, if I could take your headache away, will you hire me?
Mm.
What do you think about that? As far as knowing yourself, though, I mean, and that's we're talking about self resumes, not resumes for employment, self resumes. Am I employable by way of me knowing what I have to offer and knowing what I'm talking about?
It's happened to me before in the employment field. It was something that I applied for. I was like, let me just to see if I can impress HR or see if I can impress the hiring manager. So they asked me what I knew. I told them. Have I ever did this before? No, I have not. Do I think it would be challenging for me? Sure, it would be challenging for me. But I'm a fast learner, and giving me a chance, the whole company won't be, not just you won't be sorry, the company won't be sorry. As a whole, your higher up is going to say, great job. What did you get this individual from? And so, with me being real personable with the HR manager, they was like, okay, you know what? I tell you what, I'm gonna give you a chance, just because of your respect, your mannerism, your confidence in yourself. Like, that's rewarding to me. You know what I mean? So when you, I feel like when you go to anybody's job or anybody's interview, or if you're interviewing with a community organizer or a Fortune 500 company, or even if you're a ball coach interviewing, you should already act like you own the room. You should already let them know, like, oh, I don't have this on my staff. Where did
Mm-hmm.
this come from? And so I think a lot of people, they are intimidated by certain factors, or they they they're not sure of themselves, or a lot of people are they just don't act like, like the next person would, because you can be at an event and you can tell who really work in the room.
Mm-hmm.
That person will make you be like, oh, yo, this is somebody that I need to know. Look at how he or she is working this room. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
it could be a new place where people don't even know them, but they'll make you think everybody know them, or everybody is supposed to know them based off the way they work the room.
Okay.
That's the difference, though.
And that's the difference between you knowing yourself and what is wrong? I can't see y'all. That's the
Just really
difference
go
between knowing yourself,
right. I mean, if
huh?
you if you know who you are, and you know what you're capable of, you don't second guess yourself. So that comes from studying yourself. Spending time with yourself, finding yourself again, falling back in love with you again. That's what that stems from.
Yeah, I think when you know yourself on levels that are vast, um, I would consider myself very very aware. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I see as a vision. My mind my mind can change, but I definitely know what I want and where I would love to be. The navigation on how to get there is not always very clear for me. I'm human. And I say that because life, as you know, life be lifing. And so not knowing how to get there all the time can be challenging, because I've been known to make things harder than what they have to be by way of being a perfectionist, which is definitely something that I work on daily, because being a perfectionist takes away from a lot of my time. And that comes from caring about what someone else is going to think about what I deliver to them, wanting to give the best product possible. You know what I mean? And being like that can mess something up. Once I realized that, and I also realized many years ago that procrastination is an all-time killer. Procrastination will kill the human spirit and body, and will leave you stagnant with the lack of information, um, or being able not to give information when you're procrastinating. I had to work on that for years, because throughout my procrastination, I was giving and delivering to other people, being kind-hearted, as people would say. I never looked at it like that. I looked at it, didn't even look at it like anything. I would just be doing without thinking, trying to fix someone else, but you can't fix anyone else if you don't know who you are. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It does. It does. It does. And and I heard the rapper Rick Ross say, he said, "Man, we get so caught up in worry about what other people think." He said, "But what about you? What do you think? Do you love you enough to do it for you?" You know, he said, years of hard work, years of determination. That's your blood, sweat, and tears. That ain't other people's blood, sweat, and tears. So, what do you think about you? Do you love you enough to do it for you, instead of worry about what other people think? How is what you doing going to benefit you over the next 5-year period? He said,
Mm-hmm.
that's the real question, and that's when knowing thyself and loving thyself comes in, and just put that glow on you. And so once that glow is on you, people ain't got no choice but to follow suit. Hey, I was like,
And that's true. And as well as I also heard someone say to me, do not let anyone tell you who you are in a room. You go in there and you tell the room who you are.
okay, yeah,
And being an introvert, and people are always, how are you a publicist and you're an introvert? Because I turn the extrovert on upon needed, or when I'm working, I can turn the extrovert on. But I'm 85% an introvert. And
that's
you would
strange
have
to
to
people
know
though.
me to know that I'm an introvert. Hmm?
From the outside looking in, or from an outside source hearing it, that's strange. Because a publicist deal with
How?
public relate. Because a publicist deal with public relations. You're you're in the public all the time. So when you say that, I'm an introvert, they
Well,
be
you
like,
keep your
"Oh,
client in the public all the time. You're not in the public eye all the time. You don't have to be in the public eye all the time. A publicist keeps their client in the public's eye all the time. That's the difference. Now, talking to other publicists, other journalists, other editors, program directors, so on and so forth, that's not a big deal. That's business. We're taking care of business right now, business before anything. And so, because I'm a businesswoman, um, I can definitely make sure those messages get conveyed from my client and get that message out there, and get them out there and make sure that their wording is correct, and they can say something lavish for their fans or whatnot. But I'm not in the limelight. And I think that's where people get that mixed up at. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I think and I mean, it's okay with me because I
Mm-hmm.
understand what goes on in the background for a publicist or public relations, but for those who got that young wave going on, they
Oh,
got that,
baby.
they got that young era going on. That got that. Oh, you gonna see me today, and you gonna remember me going on. The publicists that's been doing it 15, 20 years. It's
Have
like
to,
it's like
yes.
it's like we got to keep up cause these young girls out in their high heels, their stilettos, they got their quick weaving, their lace front in, they got their lashes back and they like, oh, you gonna see me, you gonna know who I am.
They
Oh,
definitely are coming. And I commend all the young publicists, all the young journalists, all the beautiful young journalists, men and women who are soaring through this forever evolving vessel called public relations. When I tell you that I was telling a fellow publicist, sister, listen, honey, we're gonna have to come up with a strategic plan because baby, these new people are coming in taking what's theirs without any well ado,
let me
and
let me
their
tell you
heart
something.
doesn't even skip a beat. When I say heinous, they not playing.
Let me tell you something.
The baddest publicist I've ever watched. It's two publicists that I've watched, and I mean bad. Frenchie, I tip my hats off to you. Angie, maybe no, it's more than that. Angie Collins, I tip my hat off to you. Even though she's not in the game right now, she is well over. She's a kahuna with it. She's a beast. Friend Bentley, I mean, it's some. When I say it's some people that will work. Oh, this is something that I love. I love what I do.
Let me tell you
I
something.
love what I do. I love what I do. I can taste it. I dream about it. I think about it. Um, Public relations to me is like fabric to a designer.
hmm it's funny you say that because for me, man, I guess this was back about 2012. Somebody put me on the phone. I I forgot his name, man, but he was the first black male publicist that I ever spoke to in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you know who that is you talk to, ain't it? I was like, no, I don't. And she was like, okay. She was like, you know, he been doing PR for Joan Rivers for 20 years. I said,
Mm.
huh? I said, huh? I was like, man, listen, man. I was like, firm, blunt. He said, I don't care who you are, what your name are. What are you trying to do?
Right.
He said, I don't care what your bloodline name is. What you trying to do, man? What you trying to do and where you trying to go and who you trying to impact? What? Like, out here I am managing indie artists and I was like, man, this man just talked to me like he one of my uncles. You know what I mean?
Yes, they have
Like
no filter,
I,
no holds bars. Yes.
I said, listen, man. I said, man, look, they invited me on the call. It's a pleasure to meet you. He said, well, make it a place for me to meet you. What you trying to do? Huh? Hey, listen, man. I can do that but laugh, man, because he was like, you know how he liked that because he got 1,000,001 projects going on. Besides being a PR, he project manager. Community developer. Like he don't have time to waste. And she was like, man, out of She said probably out of we got 7 days in the week. Man, he probably got about 6 meetings. You know what I mean? A meeting per day with somebody. You know what I mean? Like she she was like, you know why his wife divorced him, right? Because he's too busy.
And I could definitely understand that. And there's publicists that, they have ran themselves into the dirt for clients.
Yeah.
Just the stress of it, it's tedious. It's trying, it's challenging, depending on what niche you're in. Um, just getting settled in a space of public relations that you're comfortable in itself is a run, and you have to give yourself a run for a go for your money, because you may love to be in the sports or arena opposed to entertainment. um what I mean by entertainment is music
Right.
and film. You may like to be in the real estate and find that you're more comfortable over in real estate and handling real estate opposed to being in the sports arena. Or you may find yourself liking to connect to Fortune 500 companies and or hospitality, something that public relations will always need because they'll never go out of business. Hotels, restaurants, these type of businesses, that need to be, advertised. Basically, that's what
I
it
got
is.
I got a question for you though,
Hmm.
and I know you got an answer for me.
I mean, I know myself. I might have one for you.
So when it comes to the beauty industry or the dapper industry, whether it be dapper for the males and beauty for the females. You know,
Hmm.
I've ran across tons of people who own beauty salons, who own barbershops, and now people who own nail spas and people who are estheticians and stuff. But for the life of me, I always want to sit about 20 of them down in a room and just bring you over to them and explain to them what public relations is and why it's needed in those industries. Because we're talking about some of the oldest industries on earth. People gonna go get a haircut. Women gonna go get their hair done.
Hmm.
Women get their nails and their toes done faithfully, and
Absolutely.
women that's estheticians. They provide many different services, and so I always see them. I used to walk in barbershops and sometimes not even get a haircut, just go in there and kick it. You know what I mean? And just like with some of my homegirls, they used to have different clients in their shops and used to ride with them to go pick up their rent for the chair. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because they rent out them chairs. So you know what I mean? And I said, man, why these beauticians and these salon owners don't got publicists? She said, I don't know. It's a good question. I said, you own 3 beauty salons. Why you don't got one? It's crazy. I said, imagine with you doing your beauty and your fashion show, and it was about 375 people in the building. But
Hmm.
imagine if you had a publicist with sponsorship and endorsement deals, you probably would have had 1,000 in the building. She said,
Yeah,
"What?"
I noticed that they pitched that um, sponsorship and endorsement deals, and that all depends on you know
Excuse me.
what the brand is. Definitely in the makeup industry, you want to definitely be able to that's an industry that an endorsement should be fairly easy to get, as well as sponsorship being the fact, depending on the brand first and foremost, because you got so many brands of makeup, you know, and then even doing the hair. You got so many brands that you can market as far as hair products and as far as hair things that you use for your hair, curling irons, combs, certain clippers, and so they DIY it.
Okay. But stemming from knowing thyself, so knowing thyself, knowing who you are, not as a person, but as a business owner as well. As a business owner, as a person, and knowing that you might have products that come from your product branding, but knowing that with all those other entities, you are a brand as well. Your voice
Mm-hmm.
is a brand. The way you look is a brand. The way people
Absolutely.
perceive you is a brand. So
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, why people don't look at themselves as the brand, and why does it have to be about a product and not about themselves?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you why people wouldn't think that they themselves were marketable.
Isn't
Even if
that
they didn't
interesting
do
though?
hair, if they didn't do nails, if they didn't do any of those things, every single, well, I'm not going to say every single human being, but for the most part, people that are all into businesses, um, you're marketable. You yourself are marketable. If you're an author, you're marketable outside of the book. The book is what's gonna the book is what's gonna sell, but you as a brand is what's gonna bring around and bring about the audience to link your book or whatever in if you're a speaker. It's so many different avenues and different ways that we can, I can touch on that. And so that's something that you would have to ask me, and then I would take notes and put it together, because I don't want to say anything wrong in regards to public relations and why other people don't market themselves and
Right,
utilize themselves as a brand.
right.
Um, yeah, because that's and if everybody knew that and everybody would do it, and even right now with a lot of people DIY in public relations, um, for the 2-4 and before the 2-4, there's other things inside of public relations that if you're not connected to those networks or those sources, you're not gonna know. You know what I mean? It's some things you need to know and people that you need to be connected to, because a lot of public relations have something to do with your network that you have and the people that you're connected to.
A white guy told me when I just had started working rooms, 22, 23. Um, we was at a sports event, right? And
Mm-hmm.
cause my pops used to travel all around the nation, all around South Carolina. He was a professional umpire.
Mm-hmm.
Men's softball league, women's softball league. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Man," he said, "How old are you?" I told him. He's like, "Mr. Anderson, your pops, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, I see you go this coach, that coach, that coach. I see you talking to these players. I see you talking to the man on the concession stand. I see you. I see you talking to the man that put the tournaments together. And I see these other young boys just hanging out." He was like, "Why you talking?" I said, "Man, I want to know what's going on from every different level." He said, "You know what? I'm a business owner. You're marketable. You make yourself a part of the market that way." And so a lot of times it don't really be about your business. It's about you knowing who you are, and once you know who you are, people know who you are. And so a lot of times people just want to be around that person because they bring so much positive energy and positive light. The business ain't always peachy and creamy. So that individual that brings that positive light, you know, on your positivity and 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 your energy can open up doors for you that probably your business can't. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that one. I totally agree with you on that one. Especially and it's funny because we're talking about public relations, we're talking about knowing thyself, we're talking about connections, and it seems like I'm pulling from one place, trying to get over to the next because we had a topic at hand. And then I also feel like I'm over here and talking about what we're talking about and trying to link them two in a real prestigious way. It definitely isn't hard to do, but
It's, it's just flowing. It's just flowing. That's all. Just let
yeah,
it flow.
it's just like, okay, so we're talking about this, so we're talking about that. What is it? I don't want to talk about 15 different things as I'm speaking, as you know that I do that. I know when you know yourself, I know that I can talk about a whole lot of things at one time, and I hope that everybody can keep up with me
It's,
while
it's
when I'm talking about things. But so I'm trying to just stay on target.
well, Pavani J, I think it's fine because a lot of things flow together in knowing thyself. You know, it stems from all different angles. So another angle that I'm gonna give you is, do people truly know themselves to know what type of mate, a spouse that they should have in their life?
That's
How
where you going
well
with that?
how well do you know yourself to know what type of mate or spouse you should have in your life?
You know, what's interesting, right, is that I was talking to a friend today, and upon talking to this friend, we were talking about knowing ourselves and knowing what you want,
Hmm.
knowing what you want by way of knowing who you are. And once you know who you are, you then have the capabilities of gaining access to the world. When you have your mind made up about where you're going and you shooting and going that way, or whether you need to know who you are to be able to connect to these certain entities who may not be for you, or they may not be like-minded, and that could be by way of you being on one track because you're going this way,
Hmm.
or they're being on and then being on another track pretending to be going the same way you're going. Listen to what I'm saying. You're going this way. Okay, I say, I know who I am. I know thyself. And so, with that being said, I would like to be prosperous. And I would like to make a vision board. And on the vision board, I would like to cut it off into 4 sections. Why? Because there's 4 seasons. And in those 4 seasons, um, in business, we do it quarterly. So we got 4 quarters. And in each quarter, I want to, be strategic about what goals I put up there because I want them to come to fruition. The bigger the goal, the longer the fruition of the goal. It may not manifest in these 3 to 4 months that we have right here. And another person may be doing the same thing you're doing on the same project that you're working on, as well as 7 or 8 other people that are in the room, and we're all doing this whole project. And they say the same thing as you, that they know themselves and they know where they want to go and they know how they feel. But throughout working with them on a project, you find out very soon that what they say that they are and who they are isn't that. It isn't real. It's all made up. They've made this up and not accidentally made this up. They pretended to make it up because someone told them that it was okay to fake it till they make it. Do you
Fabrication.
think that that's someone? Do you think that they're playing on your intelligence and or playing Russian roulette with your emotions and or devaluing your intellect?
I don't think it's playing on my
Not
emotion.
your. I'm saying
No,
anyone
no,
that's in
no,
a situation like that.
no. I'm just saying I don't think it's. I think it's plans. It plans on that industry's emotions. Because one thing about any industry that you in, oh, it's some. Excuse my French for the camera. It's some dogs out there in that industry that really built that thing from whatever they got going. They really built it from the ground up with no help. Blood, sweat, and tears, late night hours, headaches. You know what I mean?
All night long.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about headaches to the point where some family members had to make them go to the doctor
Absolutely.
because they had so many deadlines that they needed to meet, and they wouldn't go to the doctor. But like business ain't easy.
It's not for everybody. Everybody,
A,
everybody can't be a CEO. Sometimes everybody can't be the boss. Everybody can't be the CEO of a company, even by way of you knowing yourself. I want to be very clear about what I just said. Everybody can't be a CEO.
and
It's just not real. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. You can't have a whole lot of chiefs and not enough Indians.
listen, I asked my homeboy Jacob the other day, my a good friend of mine by the name of Jacob Herman, and I said, Jay, man, you ain't I said, man, you been in that truck for about 25 years. He said, almost 30. I said, you ain't want to own your truck? He said, no, bro, Jay. Hey, man, you give me my 2700 every week and let me go on to the house. He's like, I don't want to own nothing. I don't want no overhead. I don't want to tell nobody what to do. I just want to work for the company that I drive for and go into the crib and and take care of all my chaps. That's what he said. Take care of all of them. You
That's
know
a
what I mean?
field. That's an industry. That's an industry that is not for the weak, first and foremost. You have to love to drive because it's not like traveling. I know I hear people say, come out here and go over the road with me, or come out here and ride with me while I go over here and do this run. That's not it's not a road trip. When you're
No,
in that
it's not.
truck, you're not seeing beautiful buildings and skylines. I mean, in Chicago you do when you come around the skyline, but you are in rural areas, going to rural places in rural countries and cities out in the country picking up stuff. I mean,
Let's
you may
go.
go to a Walmart here or there, a distribution center, but you're
Listen,
not going to a casino and shit. That's not what that is.
you so right. So I remember when I was younger, my homeboy Q Quincy, we call him Q Dog. He ain't really know what he want to do.
We're talking all over the place. Go
So
ahead.
so his granddaddy said, man, I'm gonna put you in truck driving school. So
Mm.
so he got hired by Swift, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, OJ, man, come on the road 2 weeks with me. I was like, okay. Went on the road with him. Nah, that ain't for the week, man. That ain't for the week. And going through them rural areas where it's pitch black, dog, and it ain't for the week. And seeing how much, cause it was touch rate. So seeing how he had to unload this truck and get back in and go cross country to his next destination and bring it back. Yeah, it's something you have to love to do. And he was like, I love it, man. It keep me out of the way. It keep me out of trouble. You know what I mean? It's a real honest living. He said, but you got to go get it if you're gonna get it. So go get it. So if you want to have it. So He said he loved it. So, you're right, it's not for the weak. But I will say this. In the last 5 years, I've seen more females in the trucking industry. Yeah, they have their CDLs, but you give them about 2 years, they got about 5 or 6 trucks on the road for real.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to all my trucking sisters out here. My sisters pushing those 18 wheelers with that 80,000. I salute you, Queen. Um, that is true. It you can make enough money in the truck, and you can make money. You can't. I don't know what type of money they're making out there right now. I know that it's nothing like it used to be. 2018, to be able to bring in 2,400, 2,600 a week without being an owner operator is really good. It makes the run worth it. It makes the dangerous part of the job not so dangerous. It makes you get out there when you normally wouldn't want to get up and go out there and get in that mess. It makes you drive when the snow is too hot to drive in. Money is a motivator for
Don't
many.
you know it? Don't you know it?
Absolutely, I know it. And again, I say kudos to my fellow trucking queens out there, because I too have have driven a truck. I used to hear people say all the time that you don't got to be smart to drive a truck. If you can count to 10 and pay attention and focus, you can do it. It's a lot more to it than that. For those of you who minimize anything in regards to a truck driver, I definitely will go toe to toe with you, because that's one of the world's most dangerous jobs next to hip hop. Every time you get in that truck and turn the key, your life is on the line. You can kill anybody or anything, and you're trained to not stop. So at any given moment, anyone jumps in front of you, you can't smash on the brakes. You'll jackknife that truck. That's the world's most dangerous job outside of a couple of other ones. But again, money is a motivator. And so if you know that about you, money is a motivator. So I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna push real hard, and I'm gonna give it a hard week, and I'm gonna see what I'm gonna bring in on Friday, and whatever that is, it'll then give you the motivation and drive to get out there in that next week. But taking the things that you learn, taking the things that I learned from driving a truck, as far as patience, as far as endurance, as far as the ability to tolerate someone else, even when they're wrong. I took some of those things. I'm a type of person who, no matter where I am or what I'm doing, I try to grab something and learn something from any and every entity that I encounter on this planet, period.
Right.
You don't have to take everything from an individual, but take what you can for you. And then utilize it for yourself. And if you can fit that puzzle in anything that you already do, and it makes what and who you are better, then keep going with life, and that's what I do myself. In my company that I have as a publicist, even doing that, being a publicist and running my company from my truck. When I did that for a few years, as a matter of fact, running my company, I still know myself well enough to know that experience is a good teacher. And in order for me to be good at what I do, I need a mentor in being a CEO or a chief operator, a chief officer. I need a mentor in regards to being responsible for someone else's pay or how they eat. not one person, that's easy, but we're talking about 3 or 4 people being responsible, that you're bringing in enough residual to make sure that other people eat and have enough money for insurance every month to keep them still doing what I need them to do for me and my company. Yet I've never been a CEO before. So what do? I have to get a mentor. I had to get a mentor um, that didn't mind um, me asking questions, maybe sometimes more than once, on many occasions more than once, of me not grasping the concept of buffoonery. Um, just some of the things that a boss would already know. I had to then, question, and it made me question my career, until I thought about everything over and over and over again. And I said, no, girl, you subdue the land. This is who you are. God gave you this gift, and you utilize your gift, and you worked in your gift, and just keep being the best version of you with training, not of being the best version of me, of being the best version of me with valuable information and strategic things that I've learned, so that I can implement it in someone else's business to take their brand to the next level. And if training was what I was going to have to continuously do for the rest of my life, was I going to be okay with that? And that was one of the things that I had to really think about when years ago, when I was first starting. I thought about that, and then in the middle I thought about that, and I think about it now, and I'm okay with it every single time that I begin to do my self evaluation that I do every few months. I evaluate myself and how I feel about myself, and I ask other people, so what do you think about this, and how do you feel about that, and what did you think about this as far as me and my company? Not that what they say matters 100%, but I'm pretty sure if this person right here sees this, this person over here sees this as well, and 2 people are not going to say the same thing without it having some type of truth to it. Does that make sense?
It can make sense, but
Hmm.
we got to understand who the two people are first. You know,
Absolutely. Not the messenger. I mean, not
you
the
know,
message, but the messenger.
right,
Make sure
right,
your
right.
messenger is right.
So it can make sense with the right messenger, but a lot of times, people will look at your company and they don't think your company is where it should be, and they say, well, how do he or she have these type of clients? And so, but that's not for them to figure out. That's between you and that man upstairs, because he said that if you make room for him, he'll allow your gifts to make room for you. So
Amen.
so
Come on and talk that talk.
no,
Absolutely. I don't, and there's a lot of people who question a lot of things. I get the job done.
that's right. Always, always.
Scarf, no scarf, lip gloss, no lip gloss, gym shoes, high heel. I get the job done.
That's right.
And the bottom line for me is that when I'm not in that building, and when my presence is not in that building, do you see the difference?
Yeah, we
Can
do.
you acknowledge the difference?
Yeah, we
And
can.
can you honestly say to yourself, well, you know what? When my publicist was here, then, man, things was, man. Or are you going to be that asinine to be like, you did this on your own? Or are you going to be that asinine to think we didn't have our hands in that at all? I mean, foolish when you deal with foolish. You
That's
don't
right.
always know foolish when you see foolish. Does that make
Right.
sense?
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, and that stems back to knowing thyself, loving thyself, being true to thyself, and and letting God use you. The way He proceeds to use you when He created you. That's all. That's all. Stop getting in God's way. That's all. You know what I
That's it.
mean?
That's all. Stop
Do you-
getting in your own way.
Right, right,
Stop getting in your own way. When we say stop getting in God's way, stop getting in your own way.
right.
We're a mirror image of God. God
Yeah.
has the ability to look through our eyes and see. Well, so if he wanted to tap in today and say, I want to see what Nicole life looking like today, how I feel, living through her. I want to see what it's like to live through Jacob's eyes, because we all perceive things different. I may say that's red, you may say that's a dark mahogany. We perceive things different, and the perception of things can go all the way down to cooking. God has made us so intricate that we both can have the same items. We both utilize them the same, put them in the pot and everything the same. And because of the essence of us, our hands and are the way we are, the way he's made us, the same exact meal can be made and taste totally different. Because God is paying attention through your eyes, paying attention through my eyes, paying attention through this person's eyes, So when you let yourself be you, then pat yourself on the back. I pat myself on the back all the time. I can't be waiting on nobody.
I know that's right. I know
I
that's
can't
right.
be waiting on nobody. And I feel like this conversation was crazy, and it wasn't. What I really would like to do is I really would like to start getting I'm going to say me, cue cards, so that we can have a topic, and whatever the topic is, I can then branch off the topic and just be able to fester off of that, because I really feel like there was a tug there a little bit. Not the fact that not knowing myself, but being able to implement a conversation into knowing thyself without taking it to a relationship conversation.
Okay. I mean, but I just feel like it really all stems, especially with how society is now. Everything flows together, and I just think that knowing thyself is personal, it's business, it's community, it's spiritual, and it just stems from all of that, and I just feel like we just covered it all in one, and I'm grateful on how the conversation flowed. You know what I mean? Very, very, very uniquely. You know what I mean? Very
That's what
uniquely
we
done.
can say. It was unique.
Right. Very
We can
uniquely
say
done.
it was unique. We can say
Yes.
it was unique. You guys, we're gonna give you guys a couple more weeks. We're gonna take this and maybe chop it up a little bit and use this one for video footage. Next week, you guys, we're gonna come in here. We're gonna look the part. We're gonna be the part. I know last Wednesday we said that the AI was dropping. There was some things that there were some glitches in between there. You guys, if you guys go to ExQuisite PR podcast, ExQuisite Conversation podcast on Facebook. I'm sorry. And if you guys can go to Instagram and or Facebook for Kennard Kennard Music Management and or Exquisite Conversation and or Exquisite PR firm, we do have some new beings that are with us. They're pretty cool. I like them. Pretty cool. You guys get used to them because they're our buddies. And we're going to go ahead and put those out there tonight. But, I need you guys to do me so many solids. And that's like, follow, and share. Like, follow, and share. Like, follow, and share. And we'll do the same to you. Friend for a friend request. Share for a share. What else you got, Jacob? You got
Nothing. I just want to thank everybody for tapping in, and I just want to say, love yourself, trust yourself, and be honest with yourself, and then you can be aware who thyself is. I love you, but God loves you more.
Absolutely.
And that's it. So we just want to say thank you, and until the next time, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay encouraged.
And until next time.
I can't go another day with this on my mind. And I think it's time for a discussion. Why you so hard? Show me that you love me, baby.